Hello everyone. So like I've mentioned in the past, I have this tradition where at the beginning of each new year, I learn a completely new character in Tekken, and it's been very useful so far. It's great for sort of helping to broaden your repertoire and you learn new things about the game. My problem this year is I genuinely cannot decide what I want to learn. I kind of ended up picking Gigas back up, which was great. I'm loving Gigas right now. I've been getting back into Lars as well, but I have a bit of experience with them, so it doesn't really count. And I didn't know what to do, but then somebody mentioned that there's a really good Tekken character quiz that can help you choose your destiny flawless victory. Now it says right here, don't be pressured to pick a particular character based on the quiz, and that's too boring to make this an interesting video. So I'm going to commit right now to learning whatever character this quiz suggests to me, and we're going to see what happens. I don't know how many questions there's going to be, but whatever this game says is the perfect character for me, I then have to learn and rank up. So I hope I get it right and it picks something for me that I'm already kind of interested in. I would love it for example, Master Raven. But let's go. Let's see what my fate is going to be. Alright, so it looks like there's going to be 14 questions, so it's not that long. First question, do you prefer a male or female character? Now for me, I've been called a waifu player in the past. I don't think that's necessarily true. I kind of play both male and female characters. I pick characters based on aesthetics sometimes, but it doesn't really have to do with the gender. It's more, what else I enjoy about them. So, I play Zafina, Eliza, but also, Negan, Bob. So I guess I don't lean either way is the correct answer here. I'm going to go with that for now. Do you want DLC characters, including crossovers, recommended? Absolutely, I'm willing to buy DLC. I'm okay with it. Please prioritize characters in the base game. I don't want to buy DLC. This is the perfect answer because it's genuinely how I feel. There are some DLC characters that I really like Zafina and Negan, but I don't want to buy any more DLC specifically because I don't want to send my money to Namco and encourage the way they've been developing their DLC. So I think this is the perfect answer. Moving on. During a round, what do you think you'd enjoy most? Primary goal. So what's my primary goal when I'm playing a round, I guess? Landing flashy combos, dashing in and out of range, getting aggressive, defending, parrying. I prioritize an all-arounder character, and I have no preference. It's a little bit of a weird question. I mean, I guess it's the kind of question you have to ask if you're going to pick a character for somebody, but I think it's much more useful when you're playing a match to look at what the opponent is doing and then adapting to that. But, if you're a character who specializes in aggression and you don't have any good whiff punishment, then it's going to be difficult to sort of excel using that sort of a strategy. I think what I enjoy most out of these is probably the dashing in and out of range. It's the reason I love Zafina in this game, because her backdash is so good that you can play a bit more of a sort of backdashy, whiff punishy kind of style that, a lot of old school players really enjoy and that I thought was very cool in, for example, Tag 2. But I definitely do all of these things, and I think I enjoy all of them when they're going well. But let's put that for my primary goal. What would be something you enjoy second? I guess getting aggressive might be a good choice here. I do, you try and stay on top of somebody, apply Oki. I do a lot of, mix-ups, and I play fast sometimes, and that's always fun. So let's go with that. How do you see yourself attacking the opponent? How do I see myself attacking the opponent? With words. Attacking when the opponent makes a mistake and misses a move. Landing a counter hit when my opponent tries to attack. Aggressive 50-50s. Grappling. Pressuring with plus frames. Poking down. I'm not going to pressuring with plus frames. I have to stay away from this kind of answer, because the last thing I want is for some sort of quiz to tell me that it's my destiny to pick up Brian. I've already committed to this, but if it ended up being that, I might just have to quit the franchise. That's almost preferable to me. I guess out of these, I think I like landing counter hits the most, though. A lot of my characters have really good counter hit moves, but there's also something about connecting with a counter hit move that usually depends on the move, but it can be super, super satisfying. Up forward 4 from Negan, hitting with that feels amazing. Back 1 with Miguel, the slap is So good as well. So, I guess counter hit moves is like a favorite thing of mine. What is another way you can see yourself attacking the opponent? Well, okay. What do we have? I guess poking. I'm trying to like sort of. I guess I'm in a Miguel sort of headspace, but a lot of when you successfully poke at an opponent with like a down forward one and then a low and then a string, and you connect with the second of the string and you move and you down forward one again, and they're just not successfully defending against it, then you're racking up that damage that is completely unscaled because the hits are not in a successive combo. It feels amazing. It's kind of rare in this game. There's a lot of blocking going on, but it's amazing when it works. And it's a difficult style to play in because if you're going to try and kill somebody with death from 1,000 cuts, as opposed to slamming somebody with a huge safe mid and doing 6 trillion damage, one is more challenging than the other because with the one playstyle you have to be right 15 times in a row. With the other one you only have to be right once. But let's go with that. The opponent is on the ground. What do you want to do? I aggressively dash in, looking for a follow-up mix-up. I take it safe and reset to neutral. I would like a character that benefits from both. I don't have an opinion. So this is kind of, it's a little bit of a weird wording for a question because it's basically asking, do you like to apply Oki or not? And you pretty much have to apply Oki in this game. It's one of the few situations where you genuinely have an advantage. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get launched. Doesn't mean that you can, for example, dash block and try and bait some sort of get-up attack or whatever. It's not all about trying to slam the opponent on the ground, but I think you should definitely be aggressive when the opponent has access to 5-6 different options of things they could do, and you have access to your entire move list. I don't necessarily aggressively dash in every time, but I do try and aggressively apply Oki when I'm in a position to apply Oki. And a lot of my characters specialize in Oki. I think Gigas is good for Oki, 442. I think Zafina is amazing for Oki. I think Bob is all right, even though he's kind of high risk. I guess that's not something he's super good at unless he has the wall. Then he's amazing. Would you want to play a character focused on setups? Absolutely. I prefer setups. Please try and recommend me, characters that don't have setups as their focus. I prefer no setups. Don't really know what they mean by setups here. Usually a setup is kind of like you creating a frame trap or creating a situation where the opponent is likely to get hit by a certain move. So maybe, while standing 3 into Scarecrow 2 is like a counter hit setup for Zafina, but it's almost kind of like a knowledge check in a lot of ways. And when it's not a knowledge check, then it just sort of becomes a mix-up. I don't really know, exactly what they mean by setup here. But sorry if I'm super nasal today, by the way. I have a cold. It's not that bad. It's going to go away in a couple of days, I'm sure. Let's just say I prefer setups because I have a couple of, traps and stuff I go to, and it's always fun when they work, but you don't want to rely on that as like a play style because it's one of those things where, okay, the opponent is super knowledgeable and super good, and now my stuff doesn't work. You want to kind of play in a way that's going to work on even really good players, right? And a true 50-50, if that's really a thing. Debatable, but real mix-ups that are genuine and unreactable and can't be option selected, that is going to work against a new player and the best player in the world, if it's real. Would you like a character that focuses on stances? I guess I don't. I mean, stances are cool, but I sort of don't like the focus that Tekken has gotten recently with DLC characters, where it's kind of like, get into stance with advantage off of something really easy to connect with, and then you have these big counter hitty, super powerful homing lows, and a couple of mid launchers, maybe some of them safe, and you can sort of loop, Leroy's hermit stance, Lydia with her pressure stuff as well. So stances are cool. I mean, I love Savage, but some of my favorite characters to play don't have any stances. Bob doesn't really have any stances. Gigas does, but he doesn't really use them. So let's not exclude stances, but say that it's not necessarily something I want to focus on. Do you value your character's built-in movement? Backdash. Yes, I think having good movement is very important. A little, I would enjoy a character with good movement. It's not something I feel strongly about. What should I answer for this one, really? I mean, I would like a character with good movement, but it's not like... I basically don't want the quiz to start recommending me, Mishimas and stuff. I don't necessarily want wave dashes and roll dashes, but good back dash is always really good. I guess it isn't something I feel too strongly about. Maybe I should go with that. Or, I do enjoy good movement. Let's take that for now. It's sort of the middle of the road option. How important do you think evasion in a character's move set should be? Don't really have an opinion. It's cool when you have good crush properties, but it can also make you feel cheap if you're doing a lot of AOP, if you're doing a lot of lightning screws with your Devil Jin or your Lars. Sometimes the thing the opponent did and the thing you did just overlapped in a way where you got a launch. It's the sort of Matterhorn complex, right? If you did it very deliberately, fine, but maybe you just use the panic move, and I don't like the idea of panic moves. I always say that it's better to try and be knowledgeable and calm enough that there's never any need to panic, and then you can do some sort of crush move, but it should probably be because you've made a prediction and it's like, oh, this could work. Are you okay with playing characters with a key gauge? No. The only 2D character I'm ever interested in trying I already play, so no point. And I would actually be happy if she lost her key gauge and she didn't have it. Either. Do you care about character tiers? It's a funny question because in terms of which character I pick, no, but I also genuinely these days don't really care about tiers. We all know that there are too many characters that are way too good. The later in the game they came out, the better they tend to be. Couple of monsters in the base roster that are just too loved by developers and community alike to ever be reasonably balanced. So I'm just kind of, I don't do real tier lists anymore because I've kind of tried to put that behind me. It's not a situation I see getting any better just because you complain about it, so I don't have a strong opinion, I guess. And finally, last question, one last thing. Do you have a preference on character difficulty? Difficulty is subjective. All characters are hard at first. The game system itself, I think, is a better way of putting it, is hard. Backdashing is hard. Playing against characters is hard, no matter, what you are picking yourself. But there are pretty dumb, pretty basic characters in the game as well. And there are two kinds of difficulty, really. I think I made a video talking about this a long time ago, but there's execution difficulty, and then there's stuff like, strategy and complexity. So I think the best example is you're playing Kazuya, right? And you have like 4 moves, and they are extremely effective. So it's all about when should I place them, when should I do this, and not what should I do. But then there's an execution barrier because you have to be good at electrics. And then you have characters where you have a billion different things and they're all super situational. So how do you create the opportunity to make these situational, not super effective moves work? Are you going to go in and out of stances, or how are you going to move, So there are some characters that are considered like super basic in this game that I think are actually very difficult to play, just because when you don't have these super powerful go-to tools, then you have to get creative. You have to come up with something, and that's when you really have to watch the opponent and realize, okay, what is going to work against this player I'm playing against right now. But I play some characters that I would say are sort of intermediate difficulty and some that are pretty basic. Gigas isn't hard to play, but winning with Gigas can be very hard. So I guess I don't have a strong preference. Okay, let's see what the game is going to give me. I'm guessing it's just going to show, a portrait of a character here, and then I have to play that character. I'm kind of nervous because I'm committing to this now, but let's find out. This is your fate.